becoming the fastest man in college in the 100-meter dash is a very big deal, because if you can run faster than everyone in the NCAA, you likely have a good shot at taking on the best in the world. It's exactly what Christian Coleman did in 2017 by winning the NCAA 100 and then going on to beat Usain Bolt in that same event just a few weeks later. When you consider that this is an Olympic year, the stakes are even higher, because we know that college sprinters can win a medal at that level. In 2008, Richard Thompson and Walter Dix ran in the NCAA 100-meter final, and later they met up with Usain Bolt to get silver and bronze medals in 2008 while he did what he does. So going into this season, I knew that some college sprinter was going to shock the world in the 100. I just had no idea that it was going to be this guy. Because at the NCAA outdoor meet for Division I, Louie Hinchliffe, now of the University of Houston, ran 9.95 seconds in the 100-meter dash with basically no wind assisting him in order to become the champion. And I promise you, almost nobody knew who he actually was even 1 month ago. But what you have to understand is that this is not a fluke. Louie Hinchliffe was the top-seeded sprinter during the quarterfinal round, and again in the semifinal round. And of course, he walked away with the national title in the championship round. And his performance is an even bigger deal, because his journey to the top of the leaderboards was very unexpected. Yet the truth is that Louie Hinchliffe is only an underdog because he was overlooked by all the big-name programs. He only transferred to the University of Houston after ending up at Washington State, which has really never won much of anything in what is now about to be officially the dead Pac-12. And his story is so ridiculous that I might have to write the screenplay to the movie myself, because you can't make this stuff up. So pay attention, because the sequel is likely still coming up soon at the Olympics in Paris this summer. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, the founder of SCArecruiting.com, where I rank the best track and field recruits across the entire nation. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. At the high school level in England, Louie Hinchliffe was actually really good, just not good enough to get the attention of the biggest name programs in Division I. He would have rated as a low 4-star recruit on SCArecruiting.com at the end of his junior year, which is good enough to get recruited to a major D1 program, but likely not with much of any scholarship dollars. But that was before he went off during his senior year, where he would win the Senior England Athletic Championship in the 100-meter dash. His fastest win legal time that year was 10.30 seconds, and likely would have upgraded him to a mid to high level 4-star recruit. For those reasons, he accepted a scholarship to run for the Washington State University Cougars, not to be confused with the Washington Huskies, who are also in the Pac-12, but way better in track and field. But the Cougars men's track team doesn't win much of anything at the NCAA level. They only scored 2 points in the 2024 NCAA outdoor meet. Yet before I go any further, I have to clarify why international recruits like Louie are a thing in Division I. If you are a Power Conference program, you really don't have much of a choice but to recruit only the best of the best athletes. Because at that level, the only way to win a conference championship is you have to recruit competitively enough where you could threaten to win a national championship. So it doesn't matter anymore where the talent is. You just need to know how to find it. Hopefully, a lot of it. The Florida Gators of the SEC just completed a three-peat at national champions in D1, and they did it behind athletes like Wanya McCoy of the Bahamas and Javon Powell of Jamaica. The second place team was Auburn from the same conference, and they also scored most of their points in the sprints. And not one of their sprinters who scored during the national meet were American-born athletes. Don't get me wrong, you can be an American high school athlete and get recruited to one of those schools. But in order to do it, you have to prove that you are one of the best in your class, not just in your state or the nation, but for that matter, the entire world. Because remember, the lanes on the track do not care if you're from Florida, Texas, Nigeria, or Great Britain. fast is fast. When Louie became a freshman in 2023, he struggled during the entire indoor season, but he did run one race that gave us a glimpse of what he was truly capable of. He ran 6.60 seconds in the 60-meter dash at the end of the season, which means that he just barely missed out on qualifying for the NCAA Indoor Championship meet. And the only reason that he didn't compete in a conference championship indoors is because the Pac-12 doesn't even have one for the indoor season. And immediately when his outdoor season began, he finished 4th overall at the Texas Relays in the 100-meter dash, which is a very big deal. That race basically set the tone for the rest of his outdoor season. He continued to run pretty fast, just not fast enough to walk away with a medal from any of the races he was actually in. He did make the finals of the Pac-12 in the 100-meter dash, but of course with no medal. And in case you weren't paying attention, he was there at the NCAA Outdoor Championship meet in the 100-meter dash in 2023. That means he had to qualify out of the quarterfinal from the regional meet. But of course, he didn't eventually make the championship final race, so nobody really noticed. And then the summer of 2023 happened, when the Pac-12 basically imploded as an entire conference. Every single team in that conference got picked up by either the Big 12, the Big 10, or the ACC, except 2 programs. One is Oregon State, which doesn't even have a men's track program at all, and the other was Washington State. So you can't even really blame him from wanting to transfer from a school that already had no indoor conference meet to attend, and now didn't even have an outdoor conference to run against. At that time, he entered the transfer portal and ended up at the University of Houston, where Olympic gold medalist in the 100-meter dash, Carl Lewis, is the head coach. And we know that he's comfortable coaching international athletes because their best sprinter in the past has been Sean Maswanganyi, who competes for South Africa internationally and has made the NCAA finals in the 100 multiple times. And when the 2024 season first started, things honestly weren't looking too good for Louie. He underachieved indoors, there's really no other way to put it. He ran no PRs in the 60-meter dash and didn't even make a final for any sprinting event in the Big 12. And the outdoor season really wasn't looking that much better at first. His opening meets of the season were to run 4x1s with Houston, and they didn't get to stick around the track in either of those races. And I was at one of them at the Tom Jones Memorial, live to watch that one. But at the Penn Relays event, in the college men's 100-meter dash championship, everything changed because Houston went 1 and 2 in the event. But Sean Maswanganyi was not the one in first. It was Louie Hinchliffe who won that championship. To be real with you, I was shocked when I saw the results at first, and I started Googling, who is this Louie Hinchliffe kid? That was the moment that I knew that Louie was a legitimate threat in the NCAA. But of course, most people still weren't paying attention. They later went 1-2 again in the 100-meter dash at the Big 12 championship meet. But this time, Louie was in second. But it was also the last time that Louie Hinchliffe would finish a college meet in 2024 as anything less than the man in first place. Out of the NCAA's West region, he ran the fastest time in the prelims, going 10.00 seconds, wind legal. That was already a new PR. It also proved that whatever training Carl Lewis actually had planned was working. But in the NCAA quarterfinal race, he shocked the world, running 9.84 seconds slightly wind assisted, which was at that time the fastest time recorded in the entire world under all conditions. And for all the people who don't care about wind assisted times, I don't know how to say this part without it coming out harsh, so I'm gonna just come out and say it. If you actually run the 100-meter dash, then you know that there's barely any difference between running with a plus 1.9 wind and a plus 2.5. The impact on your final recorded time might be 0.03 or 0.04 seconds at best. The only real difference is that one is considered wind assisted and the other is considered wind legal. So had Louie just run 9.88 seconds wind legal, it still would already be the fastest time in college for the entire year and one of the fastest in the entire world. What I'm trying to say is that wind-assisted times may not count for records, but they still tell us a whole lot about the quality of what you can do on a track. Simply put, if you're fast, then you're fast. That is why we have wind gauges and calculators. But hey, I'm just a former college coach and a former college sprinter, so what do I know? And besides, Louie came back at the NCAAs, and you already know what happened next. He ran the fastest time in the national semifinal round, wind legal. And then he did it again in the national championship final, running 9.95 seconds. For the record, that 100 race had 9 men on the starting line, but places 1 through 7 were all international sprinters who will likely be competing at the Olympics for somebody else. The only thing that really makes Louie different from all of them going forward is that he seems to have a legitimate shot of doing this again and ending up in the Olympic championship final. I don't know what the future of Louie Hinchlife's career will look like, but I do know that the secret is out. He was barely good enough to get the attention of any major G1 program as a junior, but by the time he was a senior, he was able to convince one of them to take a chance on him. And then he proved that he was way better than advertised as a freshman. But it wasn't until he transferred to run for a coach who knows what it takes to be an Olympian and a champion that he was able to do both of those himself. And now he is hands down the fastest man in all of college. The 100-meter dash is going to be run in Paris this summer. And no doubt, the American sprinters, specifically led by Noah Lyles, are going to be the favorite in that event. But Louie Hinchliffe of Great Britain will also be on the starting line, and he knows what it takes to make a final, as well as to win one. He even has himself a coach who practically wrote the blueprint on how to pull it off. And history is telling us that when your college resume looks like Louie's, the fastest men in the world had better bring their A game, or they are going to get beat by a college kid who was honestly never supposed to be this fast to begin with. SCA track and field gear is here. Fast is a lifestyle, and what you wear should reflect that. Order yours at scarecruiting.com/shop, or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.